One of my coworkers recently said that customer service is a very humbling experience, to which many of my coworkers and I unanimously agreed. We've all interacted with customer service workers, whether it's at the grocery store, or at the mall buying clothes, or even at the UMKC bookstore and library. We've also seen those videos online of customers acting outlandishly with the worker sometimes trying to calm the customer down. Because as we all know, the customer is always right. This phrase alone holds service staff to a higher level of expectation because they have to show restraint in upsetting situations because they're supposed to fulfill the customer's wants. Part of fulfilling these wants requires making sure the customer is happy. One of my managers has told me that the customer isn't always right, but it's the service's job to make sure the customer is happy. There's a number of situations that can cause the customer to become unhappy. This can include when a coupon they want to use turns out to be invalid, or when they want to return something and the return policy isn't quite what they expected, or it's changed from what they used to know. These situations can be frustrating for customers because the day isn't going as they planned, things aren't happening as they mapped them out in their head. For staff, it can also be frustrating because they know these policies and it's hard to try to come to a compromise with customers who sometimes only want the goal that they have in their head and they don't want to maybe do a in-the-middle compromise. And so in order to prevent all this possible tension that can be created, a lot of companies do have policies that simply let things slide and let customers use any coupon, and the staff has to take it, or let customers do a return without a receipt, or no matter how old the receipt is, in order to diminish any possibility for conflict between the customer and staff. Despite trying to keep the customer happy, it's not always possible, especially now when we're in the middle of a pandemic. A lot of establishments are currently in the process of closing and reopening and reclosing, and it's a trying time for customers and staff alike. A lot of stores do have shortened hours, which is understandably upsetting for customers who for so long have been stuck inside their homes, only been able to go to the grocery store or out for a daily walk. And now that clothing stores and bookstores are reopened, they can only go there from 11 to 7. For staff, this can also be hard because they're now having to become reacquainted with these new policies along with the old policies in order to keep the establishment running smoothly in all of that is happening. Other changes include fitting rooms being closed at clothing stores. This is upsetting for customers because they can't try on clothes in the moment. They have to buy them, take them home, try them on, and then bring them back to the store if they don't fit correctly. This is, of course, very frustrating for customers, but for staff, it is hard to tell customers 20 times a day when it's posted all throughout the store that fitting rooms are closed, because it is for their safety along with the safety of the staff, because there's no way to social distance in certain fitting rooms, and also every time a fitting room is used, staff would have to clean it in order to minimize any risk of infection. Furthermore, the uses of masks has become a increasingly troubling situation. a lot of surrounding areas in the Kansas City metro have enforced policies that require masks in any type of public setting. While some may find masks to be uncomfortable or they simply don't like wearing them, it's taxing for service staff who are in constant contact with a variety of people who merely are trying to do their job and they wish to not get sick and stay healthy for themselves and wish to keep the people who are at home with them healthy as well. So while the goal of service staff is to keep the customer happy, this isn't always possible for a number of reasons, including health and safety. But when situations that are difficult for customers arise, it can also be very difficult for customers as well. It can be very difficult for staff as well. Despite being frustrated, customer service are supposed to keep a smile on their face as part of their uniform, even when things are hard and when things aren't going the way that they would expect as well.